Michelle. Oh, Goguen.
Goguen. Hello,
Goguen.
everybody. I'm Annie with the Right Review and World of the Right Review, and I'm here asking one of my close friends how to pronounce her last name. Isn't that awful? Just because you get so used to just saying their first name for years, you don't think about it anymore. So I'm here with Michelle Goguen. She is one of the most special people in the world. As I've been introducing you to my favorite people today. That's what I've been doing, pretty much. So, truly. Now, she's going to be talking to you about her death journey celebration, and we are here today to discussing women's empowerment in celebration of Dawn Reno Lanley's upcoming book, You Are Divine. So I wanted to, bring to light what we all do to either uplift ourselves, get ourselves through things as women. So I thought Michelle would be perfect. And we have so many giveaways, and one of them is from Michelle, and I'm going to let her tell you that sometime as she's talking, and I'm going to let her take it away.
All
Thank you,
right.
Michelle.
Thank you, Annie. Yeah, first off, I do want to thank Annie because, she asked me to do this beautiful, be involved in this presentation with these women of empowerment. And I'm really proud to be in this group of women. It's been a really fabulous day. So just a little bit about me. I am a psychic medium. And I'm going to be giving away a 15-minute free read, and I'd like to do it the month of August. I'm also an actress, and I do voiceovers. I'm a voiceover actor. I actually have my own voiceover booth in my house. I used to make a living at it, and now I'm trying to get back into it. I'm also a spiritualist, and that's probably what I am more than anything in the whole world. I see the entire world through the lens of spirituality. I've studied a lot of things. If you saw Doris Diamond's presentation, I studied shamanism with her, Mesa carrying shamanism. I've done all kinds of spiritual things since I was a little kid. I was really psychic and a medium, and I'd say about 5 years ago, I decided I was gonna bring it more to the forefront of my life. I spent a lot of years denying it because that's what some of us do. But it gets trapped inside of you when that happens. So I'm somebody who has a big smorgasbord of different things that I do. It's never worked for me to do 9 to 5. It just doesn't. I can't have one job. I've got to have 6 of them that rotate. That works for me. I'm also a fine artist. You will see my website, and I work with light and reflection as a fine. I do 2 things in the art world. My fine art is light and reflection, and you'll see 2 of them right here, 2 of my paintings. I work with a lot of broken and shattered glass and broken mirrors and any kind of glitter, from the very cheap glitter to the very expensive glitter. I love anything that sparkles. What actually on my art website, my fine art website, I talk about when I was a child, and I grew up in New England, Massachusetts, and it would freshly snow, and then the sun would come out and it would glisten. And I would just stand there mesmerized. So I've always been attracted to anything that has a light, probably because I'm a light worker and I try to see the light in other people, Let's see. So what I'm really talking about today is my death journey that I did for my partner. And this is because I work with light and reflection, mostly the reflection. It's one of the reasons why I did this death journey, so that I could reflect upon what our journey was. So Patrick Christiano was the name of the guy that I lived with. And we lived together for 23 years. I like to say 24 to include the year that he was diagnosed. I got to look at my notes every now and again, guys, okay? So 20-something years ago, Pat went to the World Trade Center when the World Trade Center came down, and he volunteered for 10 days. And I begged him not to go, but he wanted to go. This was Pat. Pat had a big, full, beautiful heart, and everyone loved Pat. And also, Pat was still waters that run deep. Just a sweet, kind, lovely man, okay? But anyways, 21 years after he went to the World Trade Center, he was diagnosed with 4 brain tumors. And they were inoperable. And I remember being in the doctor's office when he got diagnosed and bursting into tears when they told me inoperable, because I knew what that meant. So from that moment on that he was diagnosed, I decided that he was going to have the best death possible, that this was going to be a journey for him. And because I'm an artist that works with light and reflection, I wanted him to be surrounded by the people that he loved, his friends, and for us to bring him a lot of joy. And that's pretty much what actually happened. Pat was a poet and a writer and an artist and an activist. He sold his work for years at Strawberry Fields, where the Imagine sign is. So he sold his work over there. So you can put up picture 1. So this is Pat. And I want you to really take a look at this, because you see he's in that hat and he's in that adorable shirt. I bought that for him at a thrift store. Pat liked to drink. I mean, he wasn't an alcoholic or anything. He just liked liquor. He liked his whiskey. So I got that for him. So about 3 months before Pat was diagnosed, I was sleeping on my couch and I woke up, and in my doorway, I saw this. I saw him standing there with that shirt on and that hat and smiling like crazy. And then it went away. And that alarmed me, because I'm a medium and I'm a psychic, and I'm like, Patty's alive. Pat's alive. Why am I seeing a vision of Pat? So I just wanted you to know about that. So he got diagnosed on July 10th with his brain tumors. And when that happened, everything came crashing down. Annie, can I have picture 2? So Pat and I had a really vibrant life up to that point. This is us in front of the subway, the opening of the subway. I don't remember the year, not that long ago, 3 years ago or so. And we went there on New Year's Day. So we had a life. We had a good life. We had a good life of being artists, and we loved our freedom, and that's what we did. And then he got diagnosed. So he got a biopsy on July 22nd in 2019. And that's really when the journey started. He was at Sloan Kettering, and in that time, Pat was in 10 different places, including 14 days at home here in a 9-month time. So, like I said, I had decided that I wanted to do some kind of something for him. So at his biopsy party, can you put up picture 3? So this is Patty right before he got his biopsy, and that's his cousin James and his friend Gavin, who came in from Montreal, and there were more people there, and that's his friend Neil. Neil was his partner in Strawberry Fields. But anyways, at his biopsy party, we called it a biopsy party, and yes, we were doing biopsy jokes and brain tumor jokes. We were trying to make it lighter for him, But anyways, he read this poem to me, and it's by John Friedrich Nims. And in the room, he starts reciting from memorization this poem called Love Poem. And when he's done with it, I'm crying, and everyone's crying, and it's beautiful. And that was the first time he read the poem Love Poem to me. But throughout Pat's whole journey of being in these different hospitals and rehabs, he kept reciting that poem to me, Love Poem. It's like it meant a lot to him to recite it to me. So I started to notice this pattern. And then he used to also say to the nurses all the time, they'd come in the room and he'd say, isn't she beautiful? Look how beautiful she is. Okay, that was just Pat saying that, okay? But anyways, he went to a bunch of different hospitals. So now we're going to put up picture 4. That's him at Sloan. And then picture 5. And I think he never had a beard and a mustache, but he had to because of the blood thinners. And he was just so handsome like that. And number 6, that's Mount Sinai, by the way, Mount 6. Yep, that's him back at Sloan, and he's doing his artwork because he never stopped doing artwork. He even wrote some phenomenal poems while he was in rehab and in the hospitals. And number 7. Pat had friends from all over the world, and this is Axel and Claudia, and they live in Germany, and they got on a plane and came by. Andrea came in from Germany, and they came to visit as well. She came to visit as well. I just don't have a picture up of her. And number 8. And that was the picture when Pat came home on our couch. And I love that picture. Okay, Pat, picture number 9. That's when we got Pat outside. It was really, he was so proud of all the physical therapy he was doing and how we could walk, because we have lots of stairs in our house. And he walked all the way up the stairs, and we got him down that Sunday afternoon. Can you put up, is that 10 or 11? I can't remember. Just whichever number is next, Annie, 10 or 11. Okay. And that's Yuki right there. She came in, she flew in from Japan to see him, and she stayed with us for about at my place for a whole week. And that's Jill, our beautiful friend Jill. And number 12, that's at the Village Rehab. And this is at the Village Rehab. This was one of the happiest times for us. Pat spent from the beginning of Halloween, from the beginning of middle of October, almost end of October, until December 26th at Village Care in the East Village. And that was Christmas Day. And number 13, there he is doing art. He finally went to Calvary Hospice. He kind of fought it. He didn't want to be in hospice, but when it was time, that was it. When Sloan said to him, "We can't help you anymore. That's it. We just can't help you anymore." Then he agreed to be in Calvary. Number 14. So there he is with his cousin James and his cousin Patrick and Carmilla. And you see that quilt. That's a beautiful story because, we hired our friend Ron to help him every single day. I would go too, but we needed help when he was at Calvary. And they kept playing bingo and losing, and they used to call it Zippo. And then on my birthday, March 2nd, he won the big prize. And that was this quilt. And he was ecstatic, and he gave it to me, obviously, on that day on my birthday. So that was really kind of lovely. And number 15. And this is one of my favorite pictures of him. This was taken the last time he was in Sloan. And, it takes a village. And the Sloan is an amazing place. They just work so hard, to help you out and stuff. Good. Okay. So, all right. You can take the picture away. So what happened was COVID happened. So Pat had this journey from July until all the way, and then we got him in Calvary, and then COVID happened, and it was awful, of course, but I think everyone knows that nobody could visit people once they had COVID, that all the hospitals wouldn't allow any kind of visitors or anything. So he died 10 days after that, and they did let us FaceTime every single day. So March 24th was the last day that I was allowed to stay with him. And then I got COVID on March 26th. So that was kind of interesting. But they still Facebooked us, and even I was sick. I didn't say I was sick. I just talked to him, every day via Facebook and stuff. And on the day that he died, Pat died April 4th, 2020. And April 4th, if you break it down into numbers, is 444. April, 4th month, April 4th, 2022, and 2 is 4. So 444. That becomes really significant in this story. I'll get to that in a moment. But on the day that he died, I went to Strawberry Fields and I put down yellow and lavender roses. Pat used to sit behind this tree, in front of this tree, and do his art. Because as I told you, he sold his artwork at Strawberry Fields. So I put roses down there, and also one of his best friends, Janet, was there. And we knew that where was I going to go? Because the funeral. Well, they did allow us to have a funeral on April 7th, but it was mostly that we had to be at the cemetery. And at the cemetery, I put down pasta, angel hair pasta, because Pat was all about pasta. I also can you put up picture 16, please? So there's the angel hair pasta, and I put down yellow and lavender roses, which kind of was a pattern. I just kept picking up yellow and lavender roses, and I kind of went all over the place in our neighborhood. And I put a yellow rose here and a lavender rose there, that sort of thing. Remember, I'm a woman. I am a woman of light and reflection, and I do a lot of ritual in my life. So this was ritualistic for me. Pegasus, to fly to your freedom, and a dragon that says thanks for the magic. Okay. I also put in this picture number 17. And there's Pat at the World Trade Center at the bottom, and on the top, that's a picture of him with Mo, Mopey, and Fluffy. And we were, artist types, and we didn't have real animals. We had stuffed animals, and that worked just fine for us. Okay, so after Pat died, you can take the picture away. After Pat died, I started to notice that there were hearts everywhere. I would eat and look at my food, and it was shaped in a heart. I'd be walking on the floor, and suddenly there was something in a heart. I'd blow my nose, I'd go to throw it in the garbage, and it got on the floor, and it was shaped in a heart. So I'm like, oh, that's got to be Patty. That's got to be Patty. Because remember, I'm a medium, and I'm like, well, I'm sure he's going to come up. And I've had a lot of dreams and a lot of visits. But this show is not the purpose for me to talk about the dreams and all that, because it would just take too long. I just want to stay on the journey and what I did. So I kept putting roses down for him. And then what happened was I was in my neighborhood in my car, and I stopped at a light, and this guy comes and knocks on my window, and this is in the middle of COVID, and I rolled my window down, and he said, "You're so beautiful," and he handed me the rose, and I knew that was Pat. And as a spiritualist, as a medium and a psychic myself, I know what happens. So the spirit stands beside the person and whispers in the ear and says, "Go give it to her. Pick that rose up on the ground, pick it up and give it to her." Okay, now it isn't like they hear him do that, but that's what happens, okay? Because it's too coincidental otherwise. And I don't believe in coincidence at all. I'm a spiritualist. So that happened, and I just thought that was absolutely unbelievable. And so then I went to my really good friend. So I'm a psychic medium, and I have lots of psychic medium friends. And what we do is we read for each other. So I'm a better psychic than I am a medium. And Nancy Merrill is a phenomenal medium. So we exchange. So she reads mediumship for me, and I'll read psychic stuff for her, like what's going on in her relationship. She's happily getting married soon, and that sort of thing. And Nancy said to me, he keeps saying 444 or 555, and I don't know why. And I said, I don't know why either, but I'll write it down. So I wrote all this stuff down. And she also said, I keep seeing him amongst horses. I'm like, okay, well, he wasn't a horse guy, in his life, but okay, great. And it's very exciting when you can go to a medium that really can connect to the other person, because you can ask questions. It's just it's so healing, and it's so exciting. And I'm here to tell you that you still have a relationship with these people 100%. You just got to be really open to receiving the signs. And when you think it's a sign, it is a sign. It's not a maybe. It is a sign. So I figured out afterwards the 444 meant his death date, April 4th, 2020. And I started, from that moment on, I started seeing 444s everywhere. So Annie, can you put up picture 18? And then picture 19? Now this is just, you can take it down. This is just an example of two of them. I
must interrupt this.
Yes,
program.
She does. Listen to this, you guys.
So I wrote to her because there is a picture that looks a little funny. So I sent her a message when I was uploading the photos, and I said, do you want this photo to look like this? And she says, yes, there's a reason. 444 is a special message from Pat. So I was like, okay. Now, I know I have friends that are mediums, obviously, because Michelle's one of them. So I was like, okay, no joke. I go to upload the next photo of Pat. Boom. 444.
You guys see it? The 444 right in the middle?
Right in the middle. 9444.
Yeah.
I started crying because I knew this was him saying, I'm here, and tell Michelle I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm crying again.
It's okay. And you're honoring me, and thank you so much, both of you, and all of you listening. So he leaves me. This is a constant thing for me. Okay. I'm not going to waste, not that I'm wasting, but I'm not going to use any more time talking about the 444s. It's just always there.
This is always, your journey has always moved me, because it's a beautiful thing to honor someone so much.
Right.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing that somebody does this for another human being. So it's a you're not wasting anybody's time. We can all learn.
Right.
Okay?
So I will tell you one thing, though, that I just got back from New Hampshire and Massachusetts, and I'm driving, and I'm not seeing any 444s anywhere. The truck's going by, the license plates, nothing. And then, I said to Pat, I said, well, I don't know if you're there, Pat, but I'm not seeing any 444s. And then I started seeing 44, and I said, that doesn't count, Pat. Come on. And sometimes when we start to have this conversation, he'll give me 445, 446. And I think he's trying to make me laugh. But anyways, I said out loud, I said, you know what? Maybe there's no 444s in Massachusetts on the license plates. I was driving to my brother's house in the Boston area, North Shore. And then I forgot about it, or just let it go. And then I swear to you, 15 minutes later, this car cuts in front of me, and there's a 444 on the license plate. So when this kind of stuff happens, I scream. I just go, ah! Hi, Patty! Just this morning, I woke up, looked at my cell phone, 444. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Patrick. Okay, so... All right. So now what I want to talk to you about is about the death journey that I went on. So I decided after Pat died that I wanted to do something to honor him. And because I'm an artist that works in light and reflection, I decided that I was going to re-walk the steps that the 9 months that he and I spent together on his death journey. And I was going to honor him, and I was going to put flowers down at each one of those places, lavender and yellow roses, and then read love poem, and then hopefully wrap the poem in a picture, and around it, and give it to him. So that's exactly what I did. And I started on July 10th when he got diagnosed. Let's see, hang on, 1, 2, I'll go to page 3. Picture 20, Annie. So this was the first time at Sloan, and you can see that that love poem is there, and I just put it in the bushes. And each place I went, I was a little nervous they were going to chase me off, or they're going to say, "Hey, what you doing?" And nobody did. And I was discreet. At Sloan, you can actually sit at the bus stop and do it, and that's what I did. So the second place he was at, remember, I'm going back a year's anniversary of that, was at Mount Sinai. So I went and I put the flowers down and I read the poem, and that was that. And then I came home, and then 2 days later, my new roommate, John, and I, because Pat said you got to get a roommate, and I know I do, and I have a great roommate. John and I are looking through my Gmail accounts, because John's helping me do all kinds of stuff, and help me with my websites and everything. And I said, I need a new Gmail for my acting website. I got to get that. And he's like, did you know that you had a Gmail account? I said, no, I do. He says, yeah, it's Michelle Goguen 806. I'm like, oh. So we looked at it together, and we realized on it that Pat had sent me something, and I'd never seen it. I didn't know what I'm like, oh, look, Patty sent me something way back before. So the only thing, Annie's going to play you what Pat sent me. Okay. And the only thing I want to say is that, remember, 2 days before, I had just been to Mount Sinai and put my flowers down for him and read love poem. And 2 days later, John and I are looking through my Gmail, and we found this video. You can play the video, Annie.
Ready? Love Poem by John Frederick Nims. My clumsiest dear, whose hands shipwreck vases, at whose quick touch all glasses chip and ring, whose palms are bowl in china, burrs in linen, and have no cunning with any soft thing, except all ill at ease, fidgeting people. The refugee uncertain at the door, you make it home. Deftly you steady the drunk clambering on his vibrating floor. Unpredictable, dear, the taxi driver's terror, shrinking from far headlights, pale as a dime, yet leaping before apoplectic streetcars, misfit in any space and never on time. A wrench in clocks and the solar system. Only with words and people and love you move at ease. In traffic of wit, expertly maneuver and keep us all devotion at your knees. Forgetting your coffee spreading on our flannel, your lipstick grinning on our coat, so gaily in love's unbreakable heaven, our souls on glory of spilt bourbon float. Be with me, darling, early and late. Smash glasses. I will study rhyme music for your sake. For should your hands drop, white and empty, all the toys in the world would break.
Okay, so to say I was floored is, an understatement. So the thing, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but he taped that at Mount Sinai, and I had just been at Mount Sinai reading Love Poem to him. And then John and I discovered it. So that was him reaching out, from the other side saying, I see what you're doing and I honor it. Thank you so much. Okay. So don't know if there's a dry eye in the place, but so now let's go to my birthday. So I go on the whole rest of the year, and every place that he was at, I revisit it. I bring flowers. I read Love Poem. I wrap it and I leave it. And I'm never responsible for what happens to it after that. Anybody can take them. Anyone can do anything they want with it, because that's what ritual is. You just leave it. As a ritual person, I've even gone to the park across the street here and buried things. And if a dog takes it, they do. That's not the important part. The important part is the ritual part. So let's do on my birthday. My birthday is March 2nd. And remember, I told you how he won the quilt for me. So my birthday this year, I was a little scared of it, but I had people that really were beautiful and reached out to me, and my friends, I had friends send me flowers, all kinds of stuff. It was beautiful. So right around my birthday, I was working a little bit, and I was taking the bus, and I went to my bus station. This was the day before my birthday, and this is what I saw. Can you put on picture 21, Annie? It does say happy birthday there. That's where my bus stop was. That was Pat reaching out. And then and then coming home that day, this was my bus that I got on. Can you, Annie, can you put on picture 22? Okay, so, and this is common, everyone. It's like right around their birthdays, right around, you can take the picture off, Annie. Right around the special occasions that happen, your loved person, your loved one will reach out to you. So let's see, what did I write down about Calvary? So Annie, can you put in picture 23? So, and picture 24. And here's another example of, I didn't do the lavender and the pink roses this time because I put these flowers down and read Love Poem at Calvary Hospice, because this was in honor of his death, which was April 4th, 2020. And now it's April 4th, 2021. And my death journey was almost over. I was going to put the flowers down at Calvary and then go back to and see his gravesite, which I hadn't been to in the whole year. So let's see. All right. I thought I did that. Okay. So we did at Strawberry Fields. We did. We gathered on April 4th. We gathered at Imagine. And Annie, can you put in picture 26? And this is what we did. I told everyone who wanted to come to bring any memento they wanted in pictures of him. And you see that book in the forefront? That's actually his poem book. He put together, he and his friend Ben Frey put together a book of his poetry before he passed, like long before he passed, like right when he got diagnosed. And it meant the world to him. And I've given away and sold quite a few copies of it. So anyway, so can you put in picture 27? Annie?
There was no 27 or 28.
Okay, so don't worry about it. Actually put in 25. Yeah, there's Patty. There's Patty with his poem book. He was very, very, very proud of it. If there's a 29, Annie, can you put that in?
Where can people buy that book?
Probably from me. I've got 10 copies left, and I have to decide at some point if more people are going to want it and what to do, you know. And also, I'm going to be putting his artwork probably on my Etsy page, and they can. I'm going to be figuring out what to do that. I just haven't actually done it because grief is really hard, and it definitely there's been a lot of grief, and but I'm getting so much better. Yeah, I'm getting so much better there. And I really think this journey that I've been on has been helping. So let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, so we already did a whole bunch of 444s. Okay, so yes, that's what I wanted to say. So do you have picture 29? So there's a bunch of us, and that's when we got together for for his death date on April 4th. And then, of course, he started giving me all kinds of signs. And can you put up picture 30? And that I got that on my Instagram that day, and I never go on Instagram. I don't know why but there's Pat. And that was on that, like probably the next day. And that's how spirit communicates with you. They say, I'm here and I'm showing you. And then number 31. And this is my friend. Her name is D. Colin, and she's also a psychic medium. And she liked my picture, and look at what's in her Instagram tag, 444. So that was Pat. And I thought it was hilarious that it was D because D is a psychic medium. So, So then you can take the picture away. April 7th was his 1-year anniversary of his funeral, if you want to call it. We, like I said, we were able to go to the gravestone, and 3 of us gathered there. It's he's in Woodlawn, which is really cool, and he's actually right near. So anyway, so before I get to that, I just want to say I was driving to pick up Duff. I brought our friend, one of his best friends, who he's had best friends with her since she 40 something years. Marina drove down she lives upstate, drove down to be there, and so did Duff. But I had to go pick up Duff, and when I picked up Duff, there was one parking space, and I pulled into it, and look what I saw. Look what I pulled up. Look what was in front of me. It's just unbelievable, right? So picture number 33. That is Miles Davis's gravestone. And Pat is not that far from Miles Davis's gravestone, which I think is really, really cool. And number 34. And there's me and Marina, and that's his gravestone. And we also brought the lavender and the yellow roses, and we brought pictures of the family pictures, and his book, and his gravestone is lovely. That's a family plot. And 35. And there's Mo, Mopey, and Fluffy getting in on the action too. And you see that artist powered button over by his name, Christiano, that he wore that every single day. Those buttons. And when we recently gathered for his birthday, I gave them out to a lot of people. And number 36. And there's me, and yeah. So that's good. So just recently you can get rid of that, on Pat's birthday. It would have been his 70th birthday. We were going to have a big celebration, and a lot of people were going to come in. And that was Memorial Day weekend, and we had the worst weather on the planet. Do you guys remember? It was cold. It was freezing, But we gathered at a place called Malachi's, which is on 72nd Street. And everybody said, well, this is what Pat would have wanted anyways, because really Pat would have wanted to have a glass of whiskey with his friends and laugh and joke. And at the end of the day, it stopped raining. So you can put up picture 43. This was his celebration. I just wanted to show this. This was, the gathering for his birthday. And all those pictures are underneath. When Pat was sitting under his tree once, preparing his artwork, I took all those multiple pictures. And it just shows his cuteness and adorableness. Picture 37. That's all of us together. And a lot of people canceled too. About 10, 12 people canceled beforehand. So, and there's the rain and all that. And then picture 38. And picture 39. So what we did was we walked over to Strawberry Fields, and we went to Pat's tree. We have dubbed that Patrick's tree. And we planted him a rose garden. And we took the yellow and the lavender roses that I brought for everybody, and we started planting the garden for him. Number 40. Number 41. And that's his good friend, Janet. And that's my roommate, John. And you see how we're starting to put the garden there. And then number 42. Good. And you can get rid of that now. So that's what we did. And basically the whole year is complete for me. Oh, I wanted to show you his prayer card as well. So his family, because Pat was Catholic, they did a prayer card, classic Catholic prayer card. But Pat told me he wanted me to make his own prayer cards. And I decided to make it a prayer card postcard so that we could have his poem on the back of it. And I'm committed, and a whole bunch of his friends are committed to every year to meet at Imagine Strawberry Fields on his birthday, which is May 29th, and celebrate him. Do some kind of celebration, leave roses, read his poems, something like that. So can you do picture number 44? That's his prayer card. And then on the picture number 45, this is his poem. It's called If Artists Ran the Country. I'm going to read it for you really quickly because my time is actually pretty good. If artists ran the country, the White House would be mauve, chartreuse, forest green, electric orange, hot pink, anything but white. If artists ran the country, the automation of humans would be punishable by heavy fine. Sorry, I'm squinting here. People would dream in color again and remember their dreams. If artists ran the country, the Pentagon would implode. If artists ran the country, the American dollar might plunge on the market because it isn't very pretty. If artists ran the country, full moons would be celebrated. Banks and the post office would be closed. If they ran the country, poets would become their poems. Okay. And then number 46. And, I had a calendar made and a book made, and that's one of my favorite pictures of me and Pat at one of his art shows. You can get rid of the, yeah. So we are now concluded, and it's been an amazing experience for me. And I do want to mention that I also posted his journey on Facebook on my page, as well as he had two pages, on his regular art page and also his, when he was sick, he got a Facebook page. So on his page as well. And I posted the whole journey and all the pictures and everything. So like I said, I'm committed to every birthday to do a celebration for him. And New Year's Day, I was in a poetry thing for him, representing him. He had a lot of poet friends, and he had particularly these two poet friends. Janet and Linda and Philip were they're all close poet friends, and I sometimes will join them and read his poems. And I'm going to end, Annie, in 2 minutes, okay? So we can do question and answer and stuff. So on the day, I was going to read one of his poems, and we were going to put his video up of him reading it, and it got a little screwed up. And then I ended up reading a different poem, and it turns out that, Phil published a book of poetry. It took him 5 years, and Pat's poem was in that poetry book, and it turns out that was the poem in the book. So Pat was reaching out from the grave saying, Michelle, I don't want that other video. I want you to read the poem in the book. I didn't even know that was the poem. So it's been, our connection has been absolutely fantastic. Do I think the connection that I have with him has helped me in my grief? I do. Do I think that doing this death journey has helped? I do. I really, really do. Because there's closure. There's a lot of closure. Because now I realize I really, really have to admit that he's gone. I still have a relationship with him, but I'm on my own now without him. And that is how it is. And I need to learn to embrace my life without Pat. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. And do I still cry every day over him still? But I don't cry for a half hour. I cry for 6.5 minutes, and then I go, okay, you'll be okay. And he pats me on the back. Sometimes I feel him. Okay, you're all right.
Michelle. I love you so much.
I love you too, Annie.
Because of that, you putting it on Facebook and everything,
yeah.
I felt very close to your journey.
Thank you. Annie.
And that's why I'm so emotional every time I watch these or see the photo.
Yeah, and I do want to. I do want to say something. Oh, that photo was taken in Washington. He and I used to go to Washington every couple of years, and we walked by this mall, and there were those balloons. I said, "Oh, go stand over there, and I'll take a picture of you." And that was the picture that I
It
took.
just shows his personality.
It captured his spirit. Pat was a
Yep.
sweet, lovely, kind man, and everybody really loved Pat. And Pat was just great. I can't remember what else I was going to say. Oh, Facebook. So doing this journey was really interesting for me because I went from people sending me emails and private messages and saying, "This is phenomenal. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I never knew I could do something like this. Thank you. This is magnificent." All the way to people telling me that I was creepy and morbid. So I had to deal with all of it. And I made new friends and I let go of certain friends. But it's been my journey, and I wasn't going to have anybody criticize me and tell me I couldn't do it because this was my journey.
Well, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's very empowering because I still believe I'm not a psychic. I think I have intuition, very good connections of some sorts, but
Most people do. Most people do.
Yeah, I do feel that. That's why, like when you talk about the tapping and then somebody bringing you a rose.
Right.
If I get an to do like the idea to do something, I feel like I must.
Right.
Because I feel like it's coming from somewhere.
Right.
Like
Right.
It's something as simple as that with the rose. Like even though it's from a stranger, like I feel like I must do it because it's a message from somewhere. And I feel that way. So I would be the person tapping on the window too. Dawn says, the love poem and calling you beautiful, so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
MSK is an amazing hospital. Karen says.
It is. It is.
Dawn says, I love how you handle not only his illness, but your own grief and all the symbols that you have. My father's birthday was April 4th. So it feels a bit more than a coincidence that you're here today.
I'm 100% positive you needed to hear what I had to say, Dawn. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I do want to say that you can actually, I know this sounds weird, but you can kind of program your loved ones as to what you want. As you can say to them, can you send me red birds? Can you send me this? Can you send me that? But usually it's something within your relationship that means something to you.
There's an author that always sees hearts in everything.
Yeah.
And I believe in that stuff. Karen says, oh my God, my sister and I received a joint reading as a gift during COVID with Nancy Merrill.
She's amazing.
She's
she's
I don't know her. Karen says D is also the fourth letter of the alphabet. I guess one of the things had a D in it.
Oh, okay. I never
That's
thought of that.
I mean, gosh, right?
Yeah.
And Donna loves his headstone.
Yeah, I know. That's a family headstone. His mother and father are buried there. His aunt is a very special aunt is buried there, and now Pat is buried there. So
I was crying so much, right? I took off my glasses. I haven't moved, but my glasses are nowhere to be found.
Oh no!
Everyone's getting to see my lovely dark rings that I didn't cover up. I was so proud.
No, you look lovely. You look lovely.
Anyway.
And you can see Patrick in the background right there. He's got his tongue sticking out right there.
Oh.
Yeah, I put that up. That's right near one of my paintings, just to lighten it up. Just to lighten it up. Because and that's the thing is he does say to me a lot. He said through Nancy Merrill, he said, you keep telling people, this was a while ago. This is when he first died. You keep telling people you're moving on, but you're not moving on. But, in the physical world, I mean, it's very different over there. First off, they love being over there. They're very, very happy on the other side. And I wanted to talk about the horses really quickly.
That's interesting. Okay, that's cool to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there are some people who believe in the spirit world that is actually where we're supposed to be. And over here is where, we learn our lessons.
We're haunted. Right.
But that's the real world on the other side. And this is where we grow our souls to a higher degree, So, because it's really tough on this side, So,
right.
Yeah.
So tell us about the horses.
Oh yeah. So he keeps every now and again he comes up with things that he's going to show me. There's been a lot of hearts. The 444s never stop. the thing with the video, which is absolutely phenomenal. And lately he's been giving me horses, and I've had 3 psychics say to me, well, he's surrounded by horses, and 3 of them. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess he's really, and after that, that's when I started getting horse things. And an example is I was watching BoJack Horseman, which is, I love that show. And there was a bunch of them that I didn't watch, like 2 or 3 of them I didn't watch. And I turned one of them on, and in it, he's running with wild horses. And I'm like, oh, wow, Pat must have wanted me to watch this. So, and then I realized the other day that it might be because I put the little Pegasus in his coffin. I put a Pegasus. So maybe that was it. Now I'm waiting because I put a little dragon and said, thanks to the magic. So maybe dragons are next. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Now watch Pat give me a dragon between now and tomorrow. Right.
That's funny. Once when I first started going to Doris's and going through the medicine wheel, I went to like one of the first potlucks, and I walk in and Ariella's like, did you just lose your mom? And I was like, what?
Yeah, she's a really good medium.
But like, she didn't know me from a hole in the wall, because there's a ton of people.
Right.
And like, I had just lost my stepmom that week.
Yeah.
She's walking with you right now. And I'm like, what? She's
like, she saw her.
She's like, she's with you right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, it figures. Because I mean, my stepmom and I were very, very, very close.
That's
she'll
beautiful.
call me sometimes to say, are you okay? She'll know when my health is off. And it's because my stepmom is telling her to tell me, I guess, that she's with me.
So what I know is that a lot of times they're right in front of you, but we don't really know that they're right in front of us. They could be sitting at the edge of your bed. But they're like, and I distinctly heard Pat. I'm sitting in my bed crying, and I distinctly heard him as if he were standing in the doorway of my bedroom. And he said, I distinctly heard him said, "Hi." And I started to laugh when I said, "Hi."
That's so funny.
So,
okay. Well, there's one other thing. You were speaking of one of your friends, and I forget if her name is Dee.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, D : but she's got DEECOLON, but she's got a middle name that starts with an MUCH, and she's one of the,
right.
She's a psychic, and she's pretty cool. Right. She's on my Facebook page. If you guys want to get onto my Facebook page, I'm on Annie's Facebook page, so you can find me.
Yeah, she's on my Facebook page. Okay, so real quick, let me where is it? Hold on. I had a whole show to the side for you. I have to go to the other one. I made a lovely.
Yeah.
Now this is going to go up at the end of the day. It's going to go up like 9:00 with her fine art website, her psychic medium website, her Etsy shop, which has really cool things. Like she makes these really cool cards of her voiceover and actor website. Now, Michelle's a really great person to get to know. Now her cards are really cool too. So check those out.
Yeah. My Etsy shop is,
there's a special name for that.
I don't know. Oh,
you have like angels sitting on top of the Empire State Building and glitter everywhere. Because I buy them and I'm sorry to everybody, but I don't send them to anybody. They end up
because she loves them. Well, I take
them so much, and they're like one of a kind. So
I fell in
order a pack.
I fell in love with they're actually prints. I haven't done cards, but I fell in love.
What I mean,
I fell in love with vintage postcards, and then I blow them up, and I put little angels. Like I'll take vintage people from like pictures of people, and I'll cut them out and I'll make them into angels sitting on the Empire State Building and stuff like that.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that will be up at the end of the day, and some lucky winner is going to get to spend 15 minutes privately with this wonderful woman.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be wonderful. And all right, there's one other comment. Hold on. Oh, no, I got them all. All right.
All right.
I thank you so much, Michelle, for spending the day with us.
Thank you, Aunt Annie, for inviting me. I'm honored to be amongst these women. Absolutely.
Oh, this is wonderful. And I'm going to send you a copy of this video because it's absolutely beautiful.
Great. I'll put it on my Facebook page.
All right. I love you so much.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.